Hey,
What's going on, world?
what's happening?
We back, baby.
Long time no talk. I'm
Long
snaring the
time,
rada.
long time, no review. I'm Savage Royale. This is the StreamSpace movie review, film review, dope flick review. You feel me? What movie we talking about today?
Oh man, we are diving into Dune 2,
Dune Dose.
number
Fire.
2.
Scale of 1 to 5. 1 to 10 is
One,
too much. 1 to 5.
1 to 5. Okay, 4.
A 4.
Easily
Easy 4.
4.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with a 4.
Yeah.
A 5 only because I still would. I could always go back and watch one again
Yeah.
and try and catch something else, of the story and the detail. And I haven't watched it fully from the second time yet, so
Okay.
I can't give it a 5 just yet.
Nah.
But a 4, solid.
Yeah.
It was like a what 2 hour and 20-minute movie.
Yup. Yeah, it'll take up all your time, but during that time, man.
Did you fall asleep?
No. It's a rare time.
It was a
movie
rare
that
time.
that long, you don't fall asleep.
Yeah, it was. It started and went right into it. It was crazy. It was like that opening scene with with them on the sand, kind of on the edge of the sand dune. It was a lot of tension immediately. It wasn't like, oh, let's ease into it. It was. It's not like it was a battle scene,
Right.
but I feel like the tension was just there. Like first scene, you just like, yo, what's going on? They already hiding out. Like, that being said, too, I know you watched the first one, right? Yeah.
I have not.
Still no yet?
I have not watched the first one.
The first one is crazy.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Not as crazy as this one.
Right.
Like they definitely stepped it up on this one.
Okay.
But it also felt like it was just it was part 2, right? So
Right.
it really felt like it just picked right up. It wasn't like the beginning of 2. It was a continuation of the beginning of the story.
Boom.
And maybe that's how I felt about that first scene. It's just like you just turned the chapter and you was kind of in the middle of the book. Part 2 wasn't the beginning of a book to me. It was like you just started reading from the middle.
Right. And they made references throughout the whole movie about parts 1, like the spice. Where did that come from? Like, what's going on? Like, so I felt like even though I didn't watch the first one, I was very, like, I knew what was going on. You know? So they did a good job with that, referencing to the first one. So, it's not, you don't have to watch the first one, but it's highly recommended, which I'm saying this and I need to watch it. So, you know what I mean?
It's crazy because it's you would feel like the first one would make you understand the second one better, but you really do understand the second one pretty well. But the second one really explains the first one,
right?
Which is crazy. Now that I've seen the second one, it does kind of answer some of those questions in the first movie,
right?
Where they kind of may have left things kind of open ended, or didn't really explain everything because they knew, the next round was coming. But yeah, man. I really did enjoy the movie. It was a journey.
It was.
Did you have any favorite parts?
Man, there
favorite
were
scenes?
I want to say when he learned how to ride the worm for the first time, he had to prove himself.
Let's talk about it. That's a good part.
That's a great part. So he had to go out there in the desert. He had the little worm calling thing, playing it in the sand. And, he was like, hey, if you don't get it, you die. So we'll know if you're the chosen one right then and there. I was like,
crazy.
Oh, man.
That's crazy. It's almost like skateboarding. I always ask, like, how do you practice that without killing yourself?
Right. Breaking a leg.
How do you do a kickflip without just breaking your whole hip? Like, how do you learn how to ride the worm without just dying?
Right. And it looked like he knew exactly what to do once he got on it. He was tripping up a little bit. He threw it to the, but he picked it up right away. I was like, oh, he looked like a natural. Maybe he is the one as written.
Do you think that worm, and they said he was on one of the biggest ones they seen. Do you think that was bigger than Godzilla?
Hell no.
No?
No, that worm.
That's crazy.
That worm was big, but it wasn't,
That'll be a crazy mashup, like Godzilla versus that worm. Like, that'll be interesting.
Right. I feel like the worm would try to wrap around Godzilla. Like, you remember in the movie when she went into the sand and summoned the worm? That's how it would be.
Oh, the smaller worm.
The smaller worm.
Yeah, that was an interesting scene too. I wasn't expecting to see a young, like a small version, a baby worm.
Right.
But yeah.
Let's talk about your favorite scene. What was your favorite scene in the movie?
My favorite scene. Man, it's a lot of scenes in there.
So many scenes. Take your time.
Yeah, I would say like the worm was a pretty powerful scene.
Right.
Like when he finally like got on top of it, and not only that, but he like stood on it and he was riding it. Like that was pretty sweet. No, okay. My favorite scene is the battle between his cousin, I guess, ended up being the bald head dude, and Paul.
Yeah.
Or no. It wasn't Paul. Who did he fight in that arena?
Oh,
it was the other people, I guess, that were captives.
In the black and white rule.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just the prisoners, and they drugged them up.
He was fighting for the Baron, who was basically putting them to the test. It was his birthday that day, and he was fighting 3 prisoners. 2 of them were juiced up on spice, basically, or drugged. The third one wasn't. Put up more of a fight. But just that scene and how they shot it, which I've done research on it, is infrared. That's what that is. Yeah, they shot that scene in infrared photography or videography where there's other colors outside of the spectrum per se that we see.
Sure.
So there's, I guess, limits to the basic cameras.
Sure. Okay.
There's these other cameras that you can call them cinematic or whatever, but there's just something that changes, some type of lens or something that allows more colors and light to come in.
Okay.
And that kind of what I guess creates an infrared kind of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, that monochrome black and white scene was just crazy. Like, I don't know if it would have felt that same way if it wasn't like, if it was just color. Right. You know, it really made it stand out in the movie. But it was also, I think the sun was black. It was like a black sun.
And the fireworks were black too. They were going up in the air, and it was a neat little touch. You saw them explode, and it was like, there's no color. That's one thing, fireworks are known for, color.
Yeah.
So when they did the black and white, it was like, oh, you're locked in.
You're locked in.
Right.
Yeah. It made you focus a little differently, but it kind of exaggerated that scene.
Right.
Yeah. That was my favorite scene for sure. Want to go watch that again. Can't wait.
Oh, yeah. And there were a couple very powerful scenes. Like, that was a powerful scene. And the next powerful scene I wanted to talk about is when he gets up, when the councils come in, like all the kings of the regions, and he's like, no, I'm the man. Like, y'all need to listen to me. He's going up to the people. He's like, I remember your grandma from the past, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where it's like, oh, this is how religion gets started. So it was like a very powerful, very like, wow, like an eye-opening type of scene for me, So there was many scenes like that, though.
It definitely had a religious kind of undertone, which is fine, which is cool. It was interesting how Zendaya, whatever, I forget her name in the film, but she believed in Paul, but didn't necessarily believe in the leader of the Furman people, like that dude. Like he believed in Paul in the more religious aspect, if you were saying, whatever the prophecy was, that there would be this Messiah, this person coming back to kind of free things up, shake things up. He believes in him in that aspect, where she really didn't believe, maybe not even in him in that aspect, and didn't even believe in the prophecy at all. But the more she met the man, which is interesting because the dude doesn't have the same relationship as her, right? She's sleeping with him. She's laying down with him. She's in this intimate settings. He may be talking to things with him that he'll never express to the other soldiers and the other people.
Right.
So she believed in him for a whole different reason. But then it seemed like you just saw these two lanes, almost like Meat, where her perspective and his perspective kind of just summed up who that man was, which is who Paul is. He down by law. He ain't playing no games. He seems pretty loyal to his people, even like his mother, for an example, who may piss him off. That's the first scene, him and his mom's. His whole family is gone. Right. His whole people is gone. Right. And first scene is him rocking with mom still, trying to carry the family name. He had his pop's ring on, so still carrying that. I will say that was an interesting scene to me when he took the ring off. Right. Put it in the pocket. Right. That might have been the most powerful, better than him winning in a fight or a battle or getting a girl or, any of that. Like, that scene right there was pretty powerful for me, because it's like, that's when he's like, okay, yep, I'm a part of this family and I'm a part of this bloodline and I know who my father is, but I got to take control now. Right.
I got to make a name for myself, do what I got to do for mine and my people. So it was a really cool scene. And I think following up right after that, he's basically doing some boss moves. like proving himself, the worm.
Yeah.
That was right after. So it was just him proving himself, doing what he had to do throughout the whole movie. And it was pretty interesting to see the crossroads meet at the end.
Yeah.
Where, you know, like, we already spoiled the damn movie. But
No. Yeah. You should know. If you come in over here, this is for the people who have viewed the movie. You know, I don't know, because we ain't trying to hold back. There's so much to talk about. You know,
Right.
What'd you think about the fight scenes?
Fight scenes are incredible because I like when they just take the music out and it's raw fighting. You just going at it.
You
so
just
like,
hear the weapons.
Yeah.
Punches.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like that end scene, the last scene with the cousin.
Yeah.
When they were going in, there was a time where I like doubted that. I thought he was going to get killed for sure, and maybe Zendaya was going to take over in the next movie when he got stabbed, and you know, then he flipped the switch last second, and I was like, that was a pretty good fight scene.
Had that little move that you ain't even see him do. Like, oh shit, I thought he about to get knocked out, but he actually already stabbed him.
Right.
Yeah.
He's already suffering, going to the ground, you know, and I was like, okay, he is the one. He is the chosen one. It's as written, but as you saw, Zendaya, she was not fucking with that at all. She had to leave because her perspective was totally different from dudes, and it was like, oh, she got betrayed in cold blood from everybody, bro. Like,
you said from everybody, right? You know, I mean, but at the same time, he understands the power of who he is and his bloodline, and he has, not saying she doesn't matter, but he has to think about a lot of things based, you know, when it comes to his decisions. You know, it's not just me and you. It's like me, you, my mom pregnant,
your people,
my people. You know, I got my, you know, he had some of his soldier friends. You know, them his boys. You know, that was cool that he kind of reconnected to some of that. Everybody from his, you know, past wasn't dead.
Right.
You know, he had his mom, but he met somebody like, yo, you still alive? You know, that gives you a lot of like motivation to keep going.
Right.
You know, it's like, man, everybody gone, and you found somebody, you know, and not just anybody, somebody who was willing to fight for you too. Like, bet.
Yep.
You know, we might be able to keep going.
Right.
There's a lot of grimy people in the movie too, though.
Who you telling, bro?
You
grimy people, man.
Some grimy people in this movie, bro.
You know, and it's a beautiful transition into, like, you know, real life. You know, what we were just talking about before we even started. You know, the what's his name? The creator of Dune.
The writer was, I think, Frank Herbert.
Frank Herbert. Frank Herbert. This man, Frank Herbert, taking mushrooms, and basically this whole idea of a world just came about. You know, you know, you go down that journey and you tie it into real life experiences. You come up with this crazy idea, which is Dune. You know, and you just think about it. It's like, oh, this is, you know, real life shit.
What kind of parallel could you make to spice and in our world right now, like money, like currency?
Spice and currency.
Like when you think about spice, and he who holds the spice holds the power. That's how, you know, that's the beginning of the movie, you know. But then, like you said, you think about real world and you think about money, you know, and how that is. You know, what does that make you think about?
Just, I mean, trying to put this realm of the question together.
It's kind of a deep question.
It's very deep, and you know, responsibility with that power. I think, you know, like, you see things in a whole different light when you're in the spice, when you're doing shrooms. You know, you get enlightened, and with that comes responsibility. You know, you got to take care of your people, but at the same time, it's like, where does it end? And I feel like this third movie in Dune is gonna, like, illustrate all of that. Cause
I'm excited for the third.
Man,
yeah,
this third was gonna go crazy.
I hope it's not. I hope it's not the last one.
No,
you know,
right?
I feel like we have part one, part two. This might be its own second thing, maybe, like actual, like, second kind of thing.
Right?
Maybe it is. I know, what is it? Doom Messiah.
The Messiah,
yeah, something like that. I don't think it's part 3. It's like Doom Messiah or something. So
right.
I found out there's like 23 books. 6 of them Herbert wrote.
Okay.
But overall, in the whole storyline, there's like 23 books.
Oh, so hopefully we get 23 movies, is what you're saying.
I think we've only scratched the surface to this universe. You know, this might just be in the timeline of Dune. This might be a, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a very pivotal time. You got people's whole, you know, people in power dying and wiping out whole people, you know, groups of people. But 23 books, it got to be way more details, and there's way more people that may never know about from the movie.
Right.
You know,
like he was talking about what he sees himself killing billions of people when he reaches the South. Like, we still have to tap into that. And I haven't read a single book. And I can only imagine like what they about to put in.
How about his sister though? Like, his mom's pregnant with his sister. How about her?
I forgot about that.
She's like a low key just question mark over everything.
Right.
Like, what is going on there?
Because when she is born, she's automatically has some power
already.
And it's like, what is she gonna do? She's gonna have her own image of what the world's gonna be like. And you already know him and his mom are disagreeing on tiny things. It's just gonna brew to a one big war.
I'm gonna tell
like
you,
the prophecy says.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen, and not because I read it in the future, just from what I think. She's gonna be a problem. She gonna be a problem.
You knew that when she drinks the poison.
Yeah, the little serum or whatever that is. Yeah,
whole attitude changed. And same with Dude when he took it.
Yeah,
their whole attitudes changed. So it's like they see some shit that we ain't seen yet. So they're gonna run into some issues.
Yeah, but his mom was the Ben Gesserit. You know, his mom is in that group. She pretty powerful. You know, they got that little voice power thing. That's a crazy power to have.
Oh, when they like speak up and then it's like boom, they do whatever.
Yeah, they do whatever. Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, that's silence. Crazy. I'm like, oh, okay. I felt that through the screen.
yeah. The audio and just shout out to Hans Zimmer too on the music, but like the audio side of this is
fantastic,
top notch.
Fantastic.
I mean, the sound effects, the surround sound. The only thing we missing is maybe we was in with some of them chairs that kind of move with it.
Man, you get the whole 3D effect. You got the chairs moving, the music rocking, but that's something that Hans Zimmer is absolutely talented in. Is grasping that music to a movie, like we were talking about. Like he's done so many hits, and one of my favorite Hans Zimmers is Gladiator. That's one of my favorites. There's something about it like
didn't he do? Moving. I think he did Lion King.
Lion King, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's
he did
crazy,
Lion King.
Bro. Like Lion King, that's like all them is bangers. That whole movie is full of bangers. Like that's my whole childhood right there. Yeah,
Hans Zimmer, the man, bro.
But I think my favorite though probably would be Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
that's when I got hip to him.
Yeah,
Pirates of the Caribbean. We played it in high school.
Okay.
Oh, come on, we know that.
You on the snare drum or?
What was I playing on then? I think I was playing like some marimba.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I was playing some marimba. I might have had a little bit of snare in there.
Okay.
It was concert band, so you was kind of floating around.
Right.
I had like a tom part. I remember. Yeah, there's like these two kind of concert toms. That was a good fun piece to learn and play with the like the orchestra kind of band. Yeah, that was fun.
Very memorable piece.
It is though. Like I kind of remember that vividly because we enjoyed it so much. Plus the movie had kind of just came out and everybody was a fan of that. But yeah, shout out Hans Zimmer, man.
Shout out Hans Zimmer, man.
Yeah, I would love to meet him.
Yeah, one day we're gonna make that happen. He's gonna look at this podcast right now,
sipping a glass of wine, a little red wine with Hans. And then I'm like, yo, I'm about to go flip your shit and put it on a trap beat.
Right. Tune into that. That's gonna be at least a 2-hour special alone, man. Bro.
We get Hans in the studio and we like flip some of his like craziest things. Like that'd be crazy. I don't even want to flip the stuff that's out. Like I want to see the Hans Zimmer hard drive.
Yeah.
Let me flip something that you just kind of mess with. Yeah, just some stuff you just because he probably got stuff he just messing around
that he don't even think are bangers. And
let me flip that, Hans. Come on, Hans. Let me get your sample library. We got some fire beats.
Need that.
But yeah, man. Yeah. Shout out Dune.
Would
you suggest it? Should they go see it?
Absolutely. Like as soon as possible before it's out on theaters. But even when, like, get that on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
As soon as possible.
ASAP.
Highly recommend it. Just go ahead and go see that.
Just go ahead. Just don't even think about it. Just buy the ticket this weekend. I mean, tomorrow's Friday. I don't know what day you're gonna see it, but Friday. It's the weekend.
Right.
That's a good time.
Yourself.
Enjoy yourself. Get the popcorn. Twizzlers.
Right.
Maybe a beer, depending on where you at. Valley View, they got the brewskis.
They got the brewskis.
You know, but be careful now. You know, because go to the bathroom. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. You're gonna miss some stuff if you gotta go use the bathroom.
Right.
Some people don't care. They be like, I'm to the bathroom.
No. We've had examples of that.
I made sure I didn't drink. I didn't drink nothing. I didn't bring a drink in. I said I'm just not drinking nothing for 2.5 hours because I didn't want to miss anything. I messed around and did it in Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
I think I timed it up just right, and I went in a little part of the movie where they was just talking. I went back and watched it online, and okay, yeah, I didn't miss nothing.
Yeah, there's a part in Godzilla you can definitely skip out on.
It's like a good 8 minutes. You can go do what you gotta do. Get on back.
So yeah, 4 out of 5 for the both of us.
4 out of 5.
Highly recommend it. Go see it. And,
and you saw it twice already.
I saw it. It had to
man,
be
you
done.
blew my mind. You was like, oh yeah, I went and saw it twice.
It
had
to be done, man. There was just something about it. You got to see it twice to make sure you miss some. You might miss some stuff the first time you see it. You go back and see it the second time. It's like, okay, that makes more sense.
Makes more sense.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, yeah. And watch the first one too.
Yeah, and watch the first one. I'll be the first one to do it.
You don't have to, but definitely it won't be. Due to my job, said when he watched them back to back, I'm like, I'm like, man, you 5.5, 6 hours you set aside. That's a lot. That's a Dune overload.
That's a lot of time. We busy people. I get it.
Yeah,
that's the excuse I use, but I need to see it.
Yeah, bro. Hey, StreamSpace, movie review, film review.
Yeah. Savage Royale here.
We did it again.
Did it again.
And
we'll be back.
We're going to be back.
We're going to be back for a Bob Marley review.
Yes.
And we're going to be back for the new Godzilla X Kong.
Yes.
And
yes.
That should be fire.
There's some stuff coming up, too. Like, there's some stuff coming up for the spring, summer. So, y'all, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Thank y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Okay, I lied. We still here.
Oh.